Dear colleagues, good morning. My name is Greg Radford. I'm the director of the IGF Secretariat. It's a real pleasure to be here with you here again today. I'd like to thank the Deputy Secretary General for her opening remarks, and as well as from Glenn and Scott. And as Scott indicated, we're very thankful for UNCTAD's support. They've been supporting the IGF, hosting the AGM for over a decade, and their continued support, without which we wouldn't be here today. So really appreciate UNCTAD's support. And as Scott also indicated, we're very thankful to the Secretariat for Canada's ongoing support, running the Secretariat, as well as their contributions to the Secretariat. The IGF Secretariat has increased its capacity over the past year, and so we're very thankful for a very high functioning team that put together this agenda and this AGM. So we really, on behalf of the Secretariat, I'd like to thank the entire team for all the hard work that they've put together in putting this agenda together. Also, as Scott indicated, this is the third year for IISD hosting this annual general meeting, and as he also indicated, we have designed it in such a way as we did last year, where we'll have parallel sessions. So after lunch, we'll start working on, we'll have these two rooms as we did last year, and we'll have some parallel sessions going forward. So the theme of ASM, as you heard, we're going to have a pretty rich conversations in terms of topics. The next session we have will be on ASM formalization. We've got sessions on management strategies, including ASM zones. For example, the interrelationship between artisanal small-scale mining and large-scale mining, as Glenn indicated, and he gave examples of his experience in Suriname. We have, thanks to Daniel Franks and his team, we have a session and program on development minerals, and his program actually provided funding for some 25 people to attend this conference. So thanks to Daniel and his group. We have really fascinating sessions on topics such as women in ASM, as well as artisanal small-scale gold mining. Parallel to our ASM theme, we also have sessions on other important topics, such as the voluntary principles on security and human rights, environmental impact assessment, local content policies. We have a session on biodiversity management, as well as how can countries better develop a common vision for mining, and that'll be an interesting session tomorrow. So yesterday, the IGF members got together for just an intergovernmental meeting here yesterday. As you can see, we took a photo of everybody outside, and it was a very, very large group. And our discussions were really rich and robust. It was a really incredible day we had. We talked about regional priorities. So, for example, in different regions, we talked about kind of what are some of the top priorities, and ASM was a common priority across many regions. Legal and policy, environment, and mining codes was also a topic that became really prevalent across almost every region that we heard yesterday. And then we heard some other regional not disparities, but regional differences. For example, in some areas, environmental management is really moving forward in terms of the issues. And some of those are related to ASM. So, for example, rehabilitation as a result of ASM activities is resulting in increased environmental issues and environmental degradation. There's also priorities we heard yesterday, including socioeconomic benefit optimization. So those were kind of the main kind of common themes that we heard across many of our groups. We also had sessions on a local content policy. The IGF is currently developing a guidance document on local content policy, and we had a consultation session yesterday with our members. Thursday morning, there will be a follow-up session on local content for everybody interested. I'd like to mention that on Friday, we have a technical workshop on base erosion and profit shifting. As many of you refer to it as BEPS. So it's a full-day technical workshop on BEPS here in this room. So everyone's welcome to join us if you're available for that workshop. The IGF is involved in the area of BEPS, and I'd just like to thank the OECD and GIZ for their ongoing support to the IGF's BEPS program. So one of the things I'm really pleased to announce today is the growth in membership in the IGF. So since this time last year, I think we were sitting here this time last year, we had 55 members. So as of 2 days ago, we had 61 members. And so here's the list of, and I say 2 days ago for a reason. We had 61 members. So our newest members, as you can see, include Cambodia, Chad, Ecuador, Liberia, Somalia, and South Sudan. So very pleased to see the growth in the IGF to 61 members. And yesterday, I'm pleased to announce Guyana has officially signed, woohoo! has become IGF's 62nd member. They've been actually quite active for a number of years. For example, we had a regional training event in Suriname on mine closure, and Guyana was very active in that. And we're very excited to have them and to work globally, but also regionally as well. So very, very appreciative of Guyana's work in joining the IGF. Go next one. So another area where the IGF is working, many of you are aware of, is our mining policy framework assessment. So the IGF has its mining policy framework, and at the request of members, the IGF Secretariat organizes diagnostic, gap analysis, compliance assessment tool where we go in and work with the government and undertake the diagnostic and identify areas where there's strengths, where there's areas of improvement, and areas where there can be some focused technical assistance, capacity building that the IGF can either provide itself or work with our partners to implement. So we have, as you can see on the slide, we've completed 8 MPF assessments so far. The most recent over the past year, we've completed MPF assessments in Mauritania, Mongolia, and Rwanda. And next one, Matt. And we are currently, so the Secretariat is currently working on working with the governments of Ecuador and Namibia on undertaking MPF assessments starting later this year in 2017. And then in 2018, we're looking at undertaking potential assessments in Burkina Faso, Kenya, and the Kyrgyz Republic. So next one. So in terms of our outreach and activities, I just wanted to take a minute just to kind of thank some of our key partners that either funding partners or program support partners. As we indicated, UNCTAD hosts this meeting every year, but we also have kind of a wide range of other partners that we work with. And as you can see on the screen, we have a number of programs. We recently signed cooperation agreements with PANAF-GEO, which is a European Commission funded 3-year program with partnering European geological surveys with African geological surveys. The IGF is partnering on 2 of those 8 thematic areas related to ASM and environmental management. And in those 2 areas, training and capacity building programs will be implemented in IGF member countries. So we're happy for that partnership. We also IGF recently signed a 3-year partnership agreement with APEC and the APEC Mining Task Force. And we're working with them in the area, for example, on mine closure. APEC is just finalizing a mine closure checklist, which the IGF will first pilot in Papua New Guinea and then look to roll that out to other IGF members as well. So through our partnerships and through our support from the Government of Canada, we've been able over the past year to undertake 13 training and capacity building programs, and that's included 36 different IGF member countries in that. So that's a record for the IGF in terms of its outreach and the work that IGF is doing in between these annual general meetings. So in terms of the outreach and activities, they focus on areas such as ASM, environmental management issues, mine closure, and post-mining transition. We've also been involved in, the IGF has also continued its involvement in regional forums such as Mining Indaba and the Prospectors and Developers Association of Canada. So we have partnerships that we're involved with there. So next one. I wanted to just take a second to thank UN Environment that will be hosting the opening reception tonight. So all are welcome to our reception tonight. And UN Environment will also be hosting a consultation session today at lunch. So that's an open invitation to all interested in participating. And all that information is in your programs. So lastly, I'd like to thank basically everybody in the room, the participants here. I know a lot of people have traveled great distances to be here to talk meet your peers, talk about ASM as well as other important mining and sustainability issues. So this is, we're expecting a really robust program, and I'd like to just, from an administrative note, just indicating that, you know, we operate in a Chatham House rules environment in terms of members and when you're asking questions. But from the panelists, you know, feel free to kind of cite anything that comes from the kind of the formal panel speakers. You'll see some photographers there. We have some video. You would have seen them already. So we'll be taking those and you know, including some photos on our website. So, but if you're not comfortable or interested in having your photo used or video, just please let us know. Conversely, if you're interested in being part of the IGF promotion and videos, we're going to be doing some short videos on the IGF and the work that the IGF's been doing. So if you're interested in talking about your experience and your program related to IGF activities or the ASM sector, please let the Secretariat know, and we'd like to include you in our activities. So with that, I'd like to just conclude and welcome everyone to the annual general meeting of the IGF. Thank you.